And so a lot of you, I've been interviewing you and doing those things. That's because that's like what I'm focused on now. Like you provide value, you educate people, and then you ask for testimonies. Okay. Now the hard thing though is for a lot of us growing up in small towns, in the beginning, it was really difficult for me to like ask for a testimony. It's like, man, I don't want to like stroke my ego and do all this crap, that you think about being in a small town. But when you start thinking about it from business sense here, if you guys go to, again, like the Legacy Farmer page, and let's say there's 300 testimonial interviews, me live with a member talking one-on-one about their story here, mentally then, like, does that push you over the buying edge in your mind? 100%. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. So those are the two key things I'm always kind of focused on is, okay, what type of content are we putting out? Is it educational and is it up to date? Are we focusing on current things? But then two, my time needs to be spent on getting more and more testimonials. Okay. But not just, and I'm not talking about just getting them, I'm talking about earning them. A lot of you that I've reached out to about these, I've said, hey, if I have not earned this from you, then I don't want you to do it. I want to put in the work and give you enough value to where I earn your time here to actually be going through this. And so when you do that, when you say it from that perspective, it kind of flips the frame on it, right? It's like, hey, if I haven't given you value and, we haven't deserved a testimonial from you yet, then that means I got to look in the mirror. We got to start doing something different in the business here. What are things that we need to change? Versus if you have people that just respond and say, say, yeah, I'd love to. Okay, great. Then you've earned it. And that person is proud to give you one. They're happy to give you one. Right. So when I kind of flipped the question in my mind and started asking it that way, it changed how I felt about it. Because I was giving the person the option to say, hey, no, you haven't provided me any value and you need to change this and this and this. Okay, great. Well, now I got stuff to work on. I got to look in the mirror a little bit. Does that make sense? Okay. Tater, how is that something that you could implement?
I think that when I look at this, especially like, we have someone who has a tough time with a loss, for an example. And I had a customer call me on Saturday just to tell me thanks for getting everything done and following up with it. And it worked really good. And it was a simple story of a very simple thing, but it was kind of complicated to get them to pay out on it. And it worked out. And they were very happy that we followed through with it and did it for them. And They didn't have to chase me. I was there for them and walked through it.
Yeah. Again, the importance of what there, Sheena? Like, what did Tater do with them?
Followed up.
Yeah, follow up.
Followed up.
People appreciate it.
He showed that he cared, that he valued them.
So Tater, those are perfect people for you to ask to do a Zoom call with you and record the call and interview their experience. Takes 10 to 15 minutes, no time at all. And you've earned it from them, it sounds like.
Yep.
So, and like Sheena with you and Joey, man, if Joey could get to the point to where he was comfortable, one, putting a tree in the ground, but then two, you guys have a follow-up to go back around the neighborhood and schedule a time to come meet with somebody after the trees are more established or whenever would be a good time to really go back there and show the results. And maybe you can get the people out there and Joey's talking on the camera and they're in the background and he's asking them like, hey, what was your experience like with us? And not to even try to jump around the question, like just be direct with it. Was it a good experience with us? Yes or no? What was your favorite thing about it? No trying to do, trying to sugarcoat things, like just straight to the point with the question. People appreciate that, I think, a little bit more. But like, if you guys built that into your process though, Sheena, it's like, okay, how many trees did we plant in the last 2 weeks? 2 weeks from now or a month from now, we're going to follow up with those people. And then we're also going to schedule a time to go back out there, take some videos of their yards and everything that we've done for them. But then also too, like get them on camera potentially and ask them like, hey, can you talk about your experience with us right quick? Because literally I only have to hear them say the power of a one-liner is huge. They only have to say one freaking sentence that says that clicks for me. Okay, now I'm buying from Joey and Sheena. It's literally all it takes. And you guys, all the purchases you guys have made inside of your lives as well, it's the same freaking thing. It's the same thing with Legacy Farm. You heard somebody say one thing inside of a podcast and it was just a one-liner and you're like, nope, I got to go.
I have just a technicality question. What's the best way to do those videos? Like, like I have a lady from the meat store that's willing to do a video with me. I don't know how to do that. Like, do I just hold my phone way back and look at both of us? Like, how do I do that?
Yeah. So that's one way to do it, right? Or if you guys want to do like Julia, when you and Joni did your Zoom video, like shoot, you could even set it up to where it's the person's comfortable in their own home. And it's like, hey, we're just gonna have a quick 5-minute conversation. You set up Zoom's gonna be free and you can record the call. And then you're able to post it on the website or whatever it is.
Okay. So recording the call is a free option if you just do a simple one-on-one call.
Yeah. Yeah. Would it be helpful for us to put together some instructions on that, on how to do all that?
Yep.
Yeah.
It would. Okay. Because we already have all that stuff built out. So Andy, make sure we get that shared with them so that they know how to do that. Because guys, that's like, again, critical driver, having a ton of testimonials on the page. And if you guys haven't, you probably haven't been to like our website recently. But I've started just really focusing on going in and like, so you go to our page here and there's just a quick welcome video up here at the top. I go through, list out our core mission, what our core values are, which a bunch of the business content that we're currently building out, we're going to take you guys through because I want to get you guys really clear on what your core values are that you guys live by, but also the mission statement. So people know who Joey and Sheena are, who Chad and Julie are, and know what you guys stand for. But then as you go down here, like this is where I'm putting all these testimonials. I mean, so when you go to our page and you see this many rolling testimonials, does it build trust and authority? Sheena, would that do it for you?
Absolutely. Don't think I didn't search you before we committed. I tried to find as much content on you as I could.
Yeah. So literally, guys, like my goal is to get our page to the point to where it's, I mean, you know, like get on there's 300 interviews and it just washes away any doubt that anybody has.
Absolutely.
Any doubt that anybody has. So again, biggest things that are going to push my business forward, up-to-date educational content, educating the market, but then am I providing enough value to where I've earned the right to ask for a testimonial interview? Okay. All right. So Julie, if we get those instructions over to you, would that be helpful?
Yeah, like I get the idea, and then sometimes, I mean, even just doing a video myself, sometimes I'm like, how do I edit this thing? What program should I be using? How do I do a story that has multiple parts to it? I just don't, I do Facebook because I have to, and it takes so much time that I don't have that much time.
Yeah. Well, and don't overcomplicate it either. Okay. So when I first started Legacy Farmer, it was all fancy videos. It was all fancy, you know, stuff because I thought that mattered. Really doesn't matter. People care about the content more about the fanciness of the content.